Tucker Carlson has become so unhinged that even longtime commentators for Fox News Network have decided to jump ship, resigning over his series on January 6th, which is full of lies and conspiracy theories. Both Jonah Goldberg and Stephen Hayes spoke to NPR about their decision to quit Fox News. Goldberg said the following: it's basically saying that the Biden regime, he's speaking about the January 6th series that Tucker put out, is coming after half the country. And this is the War on Terror 2.0. It traffics in all manner of innuendo and conspiracy theories that I think legitimately could lead to violence. That, for me and for Steve, was the last straw. By the way, Goldberg says that he had been assured by Fox's news leaders that as Trump left Washington, D.C. following his defeat, the network would tamp down on incendiary commentary and claims. Instead, Goldberg says, the decision by Fox's election analysts to be the first to project that Biden would win Arizona on election night last November led the network stars, including Tucker Carlson, to demonstrate their dedication to Trump and his most adamant fans, and that led to Fox's opinion stars to embrace increasingly indefensible positions, Goldberg argues. And when you hear about audience capture, I think this is a really good example of it. Because remember, Trump made Fox News a target for announcing that Biden had won Arizona first. And that led to Fox News viewers jumping ship to watch OAN or Newsmax or anything else that's even further to the right than Fox News is. And in response to that, it seems like the Tucker Carlsons of the network have decided to not only double down on conspiracy theories and nonsense, but to spread even more vicious lies that could lead to more violence in the future.
Yeah, I think it is an incredible case of audience capture. We've talked about that in a couple of different contexts, but when your audience goes in a certain direction, you have to be strong and see if they're right or if they're wrong. So in our case, I remember the audience went in a different direction than us when Obama first started. I said, he's not delivering on his promises. A lot of people were mad and they said, no, he's a Democrat and he's hope and change and you should give him 8 years to see if he can do that. No, we were right. And we stuck to our guns and we lost money, we lost audience members. But that's what you do if you care about the news and you care about truth. In the case of the right wing or people who used to be left wing, the minute their audience starts saying, this is what I want, this is what I want, and you're gonna get money if you give me this, they get captured. I think it happened to some fake left wingers. I think it happened to Joe Rogan. I think it's happened to Fox News in general. The funny thing is, I think Tucker Carlson is not in that category. I think Tucker Carlson is making an active decision. So he doesn't mind the audience capture. He's not led around by the audience capture. No, I think he's going over the top populist to try to replace Donald Trump as the leader of the Republican Party. I think he sees that his audience and the voting base loves conspiracy theories. They love violence. They love call to arms. They don't like critical thinking skills. They are that logic is important to them. So he gets in touch with their fifis, their feelings. And so Tucker's constantly saying, oh my God, the man, whoever the man is, I'll tell you, man, they're really screwing you over and they're coming to get you. You better grab your gun. And that's what the point of this documentary is. They're gonna do a War on Terror 2.0, but it's gonna target the right wing. So, I mean, what could any good person being hunted by the big government thugs do? You gotta grab your guns and do something. And that is the implication. And Tucker knows that's a winning strategy in a Republican primary. I think he's trying to go over the top. I've said this before, trying to go over the top so at some point Fox News has to fire him. And if they do that, then he becomes martyr extraordinaire, the top martyr for the right wing. And it gives him a platform to get into politics. But if they don't fire him, he still wins because he gets to put out this trash. And anytime anyone objects, he goes, you see that? I'm the only one brave enough to tell you the truth. Hurry up and get your guns.
And on the left, what do we have on the left? Bunch of feckless, flaccid, pathetic Democratic lawmakers who are still playing games with the Build Back Better agenda. Look, it's not gonna happen. You guys are losers. Can we just get over it already? But that's who we have protecting us, right? Those are the people protecting us from the right wing? Great. Anyway, Stephen Hayes is the other Fox News commentator who has now stepped down. He says, I thought it was irresponsible to put Tucker's January 6th series out into public airwaves. The trailer for the series basically gave people the impression that the United States government was coming after all patriots, half of the country in the words of one of the protagonists in the piece, and that the federal government was going to be using the tools and tactics that it used to go after Al-Qaeda. And that's not happening. That's not true. And by the way, one of Trump's officials spoke about this and talked about how disgusting this behavior is during a cable news interview over the weekend. So this is Alyssa Farah, who again was a Trump official, speaking out on New Day. Let's watch.
Good for both Stephen Hayes and Jonah Goldberg, who are old school intellectual conservatives, people I grew up, reading. Liberal Fascism, Jonah Goldberg's book, is really something that inspired me to be a conservative. They're both absolutely right. Do I think it will have an impact? Probably not. I hope, though, for some of the folks, there are very good journalists at Fox News. I think of people like Brett Baer. I think of people like my friend Dana Perino. I hope they use their voices internally to say, this isn't just bad, it's dangerous. What Tucker Carlson is putting out there could be straight out of propaganda from a foreign nation trying to interfere in our system, because it's not true. It's conspiracy mongering. It's meant to divide. It is also inevitably going to help lead to things like the insurrection happening again.
Well, there you have it. A woman who worked for Donald Trump, but considers herself a respectable old school Republican. But what she said there was accurate, so I don't want to get on her too hard. But I think what she said there in regard to the resignations being unlikely to change anything is also accurate, because what Tucker Carlson is also doing is using the same tactics that you see from Donald Trump. He's trolling or mocking the very individuals who have ethical and moral concerns with the garbage that's now being aired on Fox. So in response to all of this, I want to go to graphic 7 here. Carlson says the departure of the two will substantially improve the channel. He also mocked the two men for denouncing him for propounding conspiracy theories. These are two of the only people in the world who still pretend the Iraq war was a good idea. I mean, that's the kind of garbage you'd get from Jimmy Dore. We're not talking about the Iraq war here. No one wants to watch commentary that's stupid. And then on Twitter, he posted this graphic. The documentary series that drove Jonah Goldberg to an impotent rage. And it's The Patriot Purge, the name of his garbage series.
Yeah, so Tucker's realized, just repeat Trump, that's all. So Trump trolled everyone, you troll everyone. Trump mercilessly humiliated fellow Republicans and right-wingers, so you do that. Trump did conspiracy theories, you do conspiracy theories. So there's two last set of folks to blame here. One is the audience. The Fox News audience saw this and loved it. They made Tucker Carlson #1, okay? Yep. I don't mean just documentary, I mean his show, the nonstop hatred of immigrants, nonstop fear and loathing, nonstop lies, and that's what brought the boys to the yard. It's not like they're surprised by it, like, oh, did you see what Tucker did? No, they're like, did you see what Tucker did? By the way, does the left wing do likewise? No. As soon as grifters like Jimmy Dore, an actually relevant human being like Glenn Greenwald, started going right wing, their left wing audience left them, and all they had left was the right wing after that. And so that's how they became even more and more right wing. Oh my God, poor Kyle Rittenhouse. You should be careful about vaccines and on and on. But the left wing did not support that. The left wing, when you do insane conspiracy theories, says no, thank you. We're not interested in that. But the right wing audience goes, give me more violence, give me more hatred. So and no one else will tell you that because they're like, oh, we don't offend the right wing voters. Oh my God. Well, I don't care. It's an absolute stone cold reality. They saw the lunacy of Tucker Carlson, and they love the lunacy of Tucker Carlson. And the last set of folks to blame are, yes, the Jonah Goldberg and Stephen Hayes of the world. Why?
Because they enabled it for so long.
Exactly.
I mean, really, throughout the Trump administration and all of that, everything that was taking place at Fox was all hunky dory. Like, it took Tucker Carlson getting this extreme for them to have some issues with it? Like the come to Jesus moment for all these Republican officials and commentators. I mean, please, Johnny come latelys over here.
Trump said they were good people on both the Nazi side and the non-Nazi side. Oh no, Cenk, no. The right wing told us that was not just Nazis, it was also racists protecting Confederate generals who murdered black people, slaughtered them whenever they encountered them. So there, and once you got to, I'm okay with that, there was no bottom of the barrel left. So please spare me your crocodile tears, and I'll add one last thing to it. There's only one way that Iraq is relevant. So the Goldbergs and the Hayes and the neocons were okay with us killing tons and tons of people over there. And all of a sudden, Frankenstein rises and starts killing people over here. Now, how's that for irony? And all of a sudden they go, well, we didn't mean us. We just wanted violence on a mass scale all across the world. And now the right wing that is just hopped up on violence wants to do it here? Yeah, Jonah, yeah, Stephen, you guys were 100% in favor of that violence when it was somewhere else. And now all of a sudden it's come to our doorsteps and you find a conscience. Okay, I guess better late than never, but barely better. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.